To see the two of you finally get it should have happened 30 years ago.
When you have people rooting for you and for your win, that I would say the most deserving and the most satisfying feeling. Because when you win an award and people say, oh, she doesn't deserve it, there's no value of that award.
Does Shah Rukh gel better with Juhi, gel better with Rani? Does he gel better with Kajal? And nobody won that argument.
Because Shah Rukh's name is love, his second name is love.
We have not seen any wedding pictures. Do we have to wait for your silver anniversary? Tab jaake?
Maybe. Actually, that's a very good idea.
No, it's not. I was joking. And you did Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna. Time it was criticized.
Maybe India wasn't ready for it. Because in history, when people talk about films, at least they'll remember our films as those films that actually spoke aloud to the nation or spoke to an audience who was yet not ready to face the truth.
Deepika Padukone, I believe she said that I will only work X number of hours and X number of days because as a mom now I need that.
I've also done it where I have worked certain hours, and if the producer is okay with it, you go ahead with the film. If the producer is not okay with it, you don't do the film. So it's also a choice, nobody is forcing anything on anybody. And of course, certain films require extra hours of work, but once you are planned, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Imagine if men had to have children. They would drive people mad. Right now, they have a lot of time in their hand. That's why they're having wars. If they had to have children, maybe there would be no war in the world. I always feel as an actor, how many ever years I'll be in the industry, I will always be a student of cinema. I'm only absorbing.
Don't change the topic. When are you directing? सवाल ये था.
आपका मुद्दा ये है.
सवाल ये था. So when are you directing?
I think there'll be a time for everything. I always say in this profession, never say never.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching or listening to another edition of the ANR podcast with Smita Prakash. This episode is being filmed in Mumbai. My guest today is one of the most versatile actors of the Bombay film industry, Rani Mukherjee. She was awarded the Best Actress National Award this month for her role in the film Mrs. Chatterjee vs. Norway. For millions of Indians, Rani Mukherjee was the epitome of romantic heroine. From Kuch Kuch Hota Hai to Sathiya to Veer Zara and Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna with Shah Rukh Khan, they were just magic on screen. But Rani's versatility goes beyond just romance. Her roles in Black, Hichki, No One Killed Jessica, Talash, Mardani, Bunty Bubbly, these were all appreciated by critics and the public. Thank you, Rani ji, for coming on the podcast. I'm so flattered that you haven't done podcasts and this is your first one. So
yes,
thank
only
you for
for
choosing. Thank you. Thank you so much for choosing this. And congratulations for your national award.
Thank you so much.
It was phenomenal to see you and Shah Rukh together. Of course, Vikrant was also there, but to see the two of you finally get it, it should have happened 30 years ago. But I'm so glad you got it and got it for such a fabulous film. I'm so glad that this happened. What was that moment for you like there?
So obviously, I'll take you back to the moment from where I got the news of winning the national award. So I was at the place where my dad passed. So I had redone that space and made it into my office. And I was doing a Griha Pravesh Puja on that day, the puja. And I finished the puja and I sat. And my mom had also come to see the new space. And I was just telling her that, the place where I did the puja was daddy's room and we've spent so much time here. So that entire day I was feeling my dad's presence very strongly on that day. And I had him in my mind while I was doing the puja and while I was meditating. And when I sat on the chair and I was just talking to mom and mom was like, yeah, coming here just brings back too many memories. And I get a message and a call that you won the national award. And I was like, oh my God. And this was my father's wish for the many years that I was in the industry and while he was alive. He really rooted for me. He was rooting for me each year that I would win for, one of my performances, and it never happened while he was alive. So it just felt very surreal because I, told mom that, Mom, I got a message, I won the national award. So she also couldn't believe it. She was like, what? I said, got a message that I won the national award for Mrs. Chatterjee. So she took a beat to, understand, and then she started howling. She started crying and she said, If dad was here, he would be so happy. I said, yeah, I just feel like as if dad has made this happen
Yeah.
because I was feeling his presence so
His
strongly.
Ashirwad that day.
Absolutely. And
But he
So
wasn't there to see it. That also, no?
but he's somewhere there. He's blessing me and he's feeling happy. And also, I want to say that all my numerous fans for so many years, who have been wanting this for me, my family, my friends, my well wishers in the media, in the film industry, whoever thought that I was worthy of winning an award, it made them so happy. Especially my fans who have always been there, like they are like my those those soldiers who are like protecting me throughout. कभी भी थोड़ा सा भी फिल्म कभी अच्छी नहीं गई, but they've always been my support and I've said that you don't worry, we are with you, and we loved your work. And also somewhere down the line, because I had my blinkers on, always wanting to do good work, never disappointing my audiences, because I've always said this, that a film working or not working is not in our hands. What is in our hands as a team, when we make a film, is that we have to work hard and give it our best, like our 100% or more than 100%. Then how the audience receives the film is not in our hands. They might not be in a mood of watching a particular story or a genre. So that's never in our hands. But what's in our hand is the belief that we have in that script, the belief to do the best work. And not only me, there are 200 people on set, 200 people who are part of making that project. It's never just an actor making a film. It's the director, the music director, the lyric writer, the editor, the production designer, the spot boys who actually keep everybody fed, everybody hydrated throughout the shoots. It's not simple, to actually take care of them. Then the production people, who make sure that people reach the shooting on time, arrange the cars, arrange the hotel, arrange this, arrange that. There's so much that goes behind making a film. The camera department, the camera team, the DOP, there's so many people who come together and make a film. So we all can just work hard and make sure that we make a good film. Then it's the audience's choice whether they like it or they don't like it.
So in this movie, you didn't think ki this will become an award-winning performance? Did you think?
See, I always
It
work
was
hard. I always
fabulous
work
movie,
hard.
but
But it's
difficult.
always एक नजरिया होता है ना कि
हाँ.
कैसे कोई आपके परफॉर्मेंस को देखता है. मतलब some people might find it ordinary. Some people might find it, she's done a good job. Some people might find it, she's done an extraordinary job. Some people will be very moved by the performance. Somebody might feel, अच्छा थोड़ा overacting हो गया. Some people might say this is an award-winning, award-worthy performance. So it's always a perspective, But I have to work largely for my audience. An audience who watches the film and empowers me to do my next. Because if they go and see my film, then they empower me to do my next. Because then a producer feels more confident in producing a film with me. That when we do a film with Rani, we know that we are going to have the returns. And the returns are what? How many people have seen the film?
Okay.
So that is very important for me, that my producer should be happy. He should make money out of the film that he does for me.
It was a difficult film to watch also because it's so raw. What was it like acting such roles? I mean, you've done several roles which are heart-tugging kind of roles. So what was it like?
I think when I heard the narration of the film, I think the narration itself, before even the narration, I'll take you back to the time when Nikhil called me. It was during COVID, and he called and said that, Rani, this is a film I've called you for, and this is the story. And I was like, are you joking? Because this can't be true. So I said, have you made up the story? He said, no, this is a true story. This has in fact happened with a lady. And if you don't believe me, I'll send you the press cutout or the media coverage that happened with her. And I'll send you everything. And I've actually seen all of that, seen the footage in the media, seen all of that happened. And that's when I believed that it's actually a true story. Because for me, I never believed that an Indian immigrant or any immigrants actually go through something like that in a foreign country. Because it's obviously not their first home country, They are probably the third citizens of the state or the fourth citizens of the state. And when you go to a different country, you have to adapt to the culture that that country follows. Now these बारीकियां हमें नहीं पता. हम हमें ऐसे लगता है जो अब्रॉड चले गए मे बी दे आर लिविंग अ बेटर लाइफ, दे आर प्रॉबली हैविंग सो मेनी luxuries, have a better life, but what we never realize is what are the hardships that they go through, what are the trials and tribulations they go through, and especially after having children, what are the laws, you know, and your culture might probably come in direct contrast with what they believe in.
Correct.
So as simple as feeding your child with your own hand, which is in our Hindu culture, in our Indian culture, it's a very normal thing, you know. And imagine that is something that is opposed there, you know, or like जैसे
Sleeping
हमारी
with the baby in the middle.
exactly. So there are so many things that in our Indian culture is so normal that it is a bone of contention in another country. Now, how does a person know that you have to go through the rules, you have to work according to that?
And when you acted like that, you're a young mother at that stage when you did that.
No, it tore my heart to know that a mother has gone through something like this. To be away from your child and your child being taken away in front of your eyes. It's the most traumatic thing for a mother. And I just channeled my mom because my mom is a Bengali and she was the closest person I could think of. You know, her mannerisms, the way she talks. Because, you know, Bengalis have a certain accent when they speak. I'm born and brought up in Bombay.
Yeah, you have no Bengali
So
accent.
I don't have the Bengali accent, but my mummy has, you know. She speaks in English or Hindi, she will sound like a Bengali. You know, so she has that accent. So I channeled my mom completely in Devika's role. Because that rawness, like even my mom is like ferocious for her children. Like कोई मेरे भाई और मेरे बारे में कोई बोल के देखे, she's out there to fight.
Tigress, huh?
She is a tigress. So I channeled her, you know, her mannerisms, how she would be.
So your mother,
me, so for me it became, so the National Award feels so personal because I channeled my mom through the role. And
she was watching when you were getting the what? She was watching on TV?
She was watching on TV with
so
my daughter.
So who was on that cell phone when you put the cell phone in front of you and when you were putting the award?
Cell phone? That
कोई था video पे?
No, that was the mirror selfie.
अच्छा,
yeah.
I
so we were like adjusting.
I thought कोई था with whom.
We actually called up Gauri Ma because she also wanted the pictures. So we called her, we spoke to her. Then I tried calling my daughter, but I was not getting through. But they were all watching it live because my daughter wanted to be with me on the special day. But we got to know that children under 14 are not allowed.
So that would have been the first time that everybody would have seen her.
Yes. But obviously she wasn't allowed, but she was seeing it. And Karan's children were also seeing it with her because Yash and Ruhi come and do a taekwondo class together with Adira.
Okay.
So that day the taekwondo teacher, all my house people and Adira and Yash and Ruhi, they were watching the ceremony together. And they were so excited to see when Karan's shots used to come, Yash and Ruhi would scream, "My Papa's on TV." And then when I was shown, then Adira would get very excited. Okay. So the children watched it together.
And you wore this chain that you wear.
Yes.
So everybody noticed at that time.
Yes, it was so beautiful that they actually saw it. I thought they wouldn't notice, but I wore it for Adira. I said, "Babu, you can't be with me, but I'm going to take you with me."
Oh, that's so nice. And your outfit? What was the
My outfit was Sabyasachi, of course.
Of course.
Obviously, Sabya is always part of all my important events, right from my wedding to the birth of my daughter. And
we
of course,
have not seen any wedding pictures. When are you going to put the wedding? Do we have to wait for your silver anniversary? Tab jaake?
Maybe. Actually, that's a very good idea.
No, it's not. I was joking. Now you'll take it seriously.
Oh, no. But
nothing. Only Sabya spoke about it to some magazine, and that's how one knows that okay, he did the wedding. But otherwise, kuch bhi nahi. So what is it about you and your husband of keeping all this?
I think my husband is a very private person, and I think he wanted the wedding to be very private. So obviously, I don't think he'll ever want the wedding pictures to be out. But I'll show you privately.
Okay. And does that work? Like in the sense of, have you become private also as a result of that? Or were you always private?
I think I was always private because my work life is different. My personal life is different. If you've seen me through the years, I think I only make appearances when there is a reason for it. It's not always all the time. Because I do think that there are certain things that you need to keep to yourself, because you need to protect your environment slightly, because everything can't be for everyone to see, because we're already so exposed, so that exposure is enough, I feel. There are certain things that you need to keep private to yourself, especially where you're going, what you're doing with your family. I think that is a little something that you should protect.
That is what made film stars so fabulous, is that there was a mystery around them. There was an enigma कि ये क्या करते हैं, कैसे होते हैं, and then somebody would talk about a sighting of an actor
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
That's how it
Yes.
happened. But now everything is out there. Instagram पे सब कुछ है, going to the bhaji wala, going to the exercise, but आपका नहीं है.
नहीं
हाँ?
तो अच्छी बात है ना,
हाँ.
ताकि जब मेरी फिल्में आती है तो एटलीस्ट मेरे जो ऑडियंस है उनको ऐसा लगेगा कि चलो हम जाके रानी को बड़े पर्दे पे देखें. सो आई थिंक इट्स नाइस.
Okay. And when was this decision taken? When you met Aditya, or was it beforehand that you decided कि मेरा everything about me doesn't need to be out there?
I think it was my decision also, and then being with Adi, and of course being together, I think we both follow the same philosophy, and we had the same philosophy for our daughter as well. Because we didn't want her to ever be in a situation where she's overexposed, and that she should feel that there's anything special going on with her, or any wherever she goes, she needs to have a very normal life. Not that there are people looking at her and recognizing her, because when she grows up and when she chooses a profession that she needs to choose, then whatever she earns, her recognition will be her earned through her, through her, merit. She doesn't earn the recognition because she has famous parents. So she should earn that herself. It should not come to her taken for granted.
Because that kind of parenting requires a lot of discipline in your life as well as her life.
Yes.
How is the communication done to a child? Because sometimes children want that, na कि हमारी photo हर जगह हो, मम्मी की है.
But I think luckily Adira's genes is very strongly on Adi's side.
Okay.
So she's also like a 50-50. So I'm sure that what she has in her mind right now, maybe she's not expressed it completely. But I do feel that she also has a very strong point of view. So I'm sure that when she comes to a particular age, she'll have a nice conversation with her dad, and she will even out things for herself, like whatever and however she wants her life to be.
Once I interviewed Hema Malini, and I asked her the same question, that people used to keep laughing about this, that ask Amma, don't ask me, not giving opinions. And this was when a time when there was no television. It was just print journalism. Right. And the print journalists ruled the roost. They could make or break careers. Yes. She just would not talk about her private life. She just kept quiet about it and did exactly what she wanted, but it was always ask Amma. And same with Sridevi, was like, would not talk at all. It was like decided that no, this is how I'm going
because
to be.
At that time, I think mothers represented the PR. They represented the media. They represented being guardians. So they were everything put in one. Like how today you have different people doing different things in an actor's life. That time, parents were
everything.
Sarva Gun Sampan. They were PR people also. They were media people also.
Finance,
security, finance.
I know,
everything, managers, they were doing everything, handling the dates, handling everything. So they were like superhumans.
You're from a film family. Was the transition to acting, because I believe your dad wasn't too keen कि बहुत जल्दी acting में नहीं जाना or whatever, you were very young?
No, he was not keen only in the first place.
Okay.
Because at that time, it wasn't very normal for children of film families to take up acting, especially the girls. It was more the men who used to follow the thing. Not like today, how all the children are so motivated to follow their parents' footsteps. That time it was slightly different. I don't think the film industry, in a general way, was looked like a very feasible option to take as a career. it was very different then. Like even while I was growing up, I don't think it was something to be very proud of to say in school that I'm from a film family. It was very different at that time. I think times have changed. There's a lot of education that has come in to people and how the atmosphere is today, how things happen today in shoots. I think more and more young people are more motivated to become actors, not only from the industry, even from outside the industry. It's become like a very feasible, I would say, career option for a lot of people, and they look up to cinema not the way it used to be looked upon at that time. That time, movie stars were looked upon more as probably nymphs or apsara, and larger than life. Now it's become more regular person can also be acting in films.
So when you got in, it was very hesitatingly you got into films, right?
I-
कि अगर चलेगा तो चलेगा, नहीं तो फिर कुछ और कर
so for
लूंगी.
my mother it was do it and see how it goes. Though after my first screen test, she found me so bad that she in fact told the producer that I think you'll ruin your film by taking my daughter. You'll
Seriously?
go through losses. Better you don't take her. Because the producer was very keen to sign me, Salim uncle. But my mom was smart enough to understand that I was not doing a good job. So she was like, I don't think you should take her. And he was like, no, we'll take her and we'll see.
Which film was this?
Raje Ki Aayegi Bharat.
Oh yeah.
My
Okay.
first film.
You're very horrible. I don't like it that your voice was dubbed in that.
No, it was not dubbed in that.
Yeah,
it was only dubbed in Gulam.
in Gulam. Acha,
Only in Gulam. In Raje Ki Aayegi Bharat, it was my voice. But
that movie just didn't work for me. Like when I was like, I like your husky voice.
yes.
To think that somebody would think that voice was not okay.
Yeah.
That why would
Yeah, but only in one film. But the rest of the films, of course, it's my voice.
Huh.
And I think my mom made it so simple for me. She said, do this film. It's an opportunity knocked on your door. It doesn't come all the time.
Huh.
See how it goes. If you don't like it, if things don't go, you can go back to doing what you were doing. And I found a lot of sense in that statement. It wasn't as if she was pushing me towards it. Because she knows me, I'm very like practical like that. And she said, see how it goes. And after my first film, there was no looking back because I got an offer for Gulam and then I got an offer for Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Yeah.
And then there was no looking back.
कुछ कुछ होता है. Did you have doubts कि छोटा रोल है नहीं करूँगी?
Not at all, because Karan was so clear with his narration. And I just found Karan to be such a honest and such a clear-headed filmmaker. Because the way he came and narrated me the subject and what he said, and he was so passionate while he was narrating that I knew somewhere that Karan is going to make a mark in the industry because he was just so clear. And the only thing I asked him is that, are you sure you want me to do this part? Because that time Kajal and Shah Rukh were a very hit pair after DDLJ. And he said that you leave it to me. So the very famous line, leave it to Tina. So he said, just leave it to me.
Okay.
And you don't worry about that. So I was like, okay, I trust you completely. And I don't know, I think when relationships or friendships are to be made, there is that magical thing that happens where you automatically trust a person blindly, and somewhere I had the faith that what Karan was saying was 100% the truth. Like there was no, manipulation, or there was no hard selling of a film or, anything like that. He was just so pure as a filmmaker. And I kind of connected with him, and I said, yes, let's do it.
And you did Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna also.
Of course.
In that.
Yes.
Was there... I mean, it was the same kind of setup that you had. And now when you look back, and at that time it was criticized, maybe India wasn't ready for it or something like that.
Maybe India wasn't ready
but then
for
it was like way ahead of its times, right?
Yeah.
That.
But it's always nice to be part of films that are way ahead of its times.
Yeah.
Because in history, when people talk about films, at least they'll remember our films as those films that actually spoke aloud to the nation, spoke to an audience who was yet not ready to face the truth.
Yeah.
And through such films,
And
there
it
were a
was
lot
happening.
of changes. Yeah, it was happening.
It was happening,
And
but
it made people uncomfortable because it made them see their own truth in their lives. And it's always difficult to reflect upon your own truth, and then when it happens in front of you on celluloid, it kind of, gives you a little jolt,
that there are relationships
Yes.
which don't fit into definitions.
Yes. And not fit into definitions. It also doesn't probably fit in the social.
जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस हैं, जो दायरे हैं,
हाँ,
उसमें फिट नहीं होते कभी कभी.
नहीं फिट होते because everybody is probably trying to put on an act to fit into the social fabric of society, you know, and they feel that one needs to live a certain way to be able to have the respect going. But today I think those things are blurred because today it's all about happiness, you know, to choose happiness over what other people view you as. You know, it's not anymore about what the other person thinks about you. It's more about self-reflection, that are you happy? Are you able to look in the eye and into your soul? You know, you don't have to look into an eye of a stranger to be telling the stranger how happy you are. It's about, are you looking into the mirror and seeing yourself, and deep inside your soul, are you really happy? And people are making decisions based on that today. And I think that's why today a film like Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna speaks those uncomfortable truths. And doesn't follow the societal norm as to just making a woman feel comfortable with the fact that she has a good human being as a husband, you know, that he doesn't hit you, he loves you, and
In spite of that.
it's more. You know, it's even more than that. So just because your husband doesn't hit you doesn't make him the best husband in the world. Or if a person loves you, it's important for you to love a person back. You know, and sometimes, or not sometimes, I think the generation before has compromised so many times. You know, where they have lived a life where they were happy with just having good husbands loving them, and they compromise with the fact that okay, we will also do the same. You know, not really thinking about their own wishes or their own passion, because there is also something called, are you physically also attracted to the person you're married to? You know, is this also an important conversation today? It is. And so many marriages today break because probably they're not attracted to their spouses. You know, so these were all the topics that probably were spoken in Kabhi Alvida, which at that time was uncomfortable.
And the second chance bit.
Yes.
There were many who, like you said, just said that हो गया, अब इसके आगे नहीं कर सकते हैं. We've made that decision, we have to stay by that decision. But then in that movie, you said that maybe there are second chances.
Yes.
It's okay to be thinking of a second chance.
Yes, and also I think there is so much social stigma for especially a woman, you know, if she's the one who chooses to choose. You know, when a man chooses, somehow people are okay with it. But when a woman decides to choose, you know, if she wants to be out of a marriage or she wants to be out of a relationship, that's always raises eyebrows.
Because at that time it was like, yeah, इतना sweet सा तो husband है.
Exactly.
क्यों निकल रही है from this, you know?
Exactly.
But there were some who could empathize.
Because they are the ones who were going through it probably.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. But when a film gets that backlash and you're part of that and you understand that all those who made that film came from a good place when they
See,
made
as I told you in the beginning of this podcast, you know, as an artist, all you can do is have faith in the script that you choose to do and give you 100%. And after that, how an audience perceives it is not in our hand. You know, they might have different opinions of the same film, you know, but we have to be brave enough to be able to take both, you know, because we believe in the film and we can't let a film be alone just because the audience hasn't accepted it. We have to stand by our film.
There was this phase where everything that you were doing were hits and you were acting with the biggest, all the three Khans you were acting with, and they each of them paired very well with you, you know, and the movies were super duper hits and things. And then came a phase where it didn't do all that well. Suddenly from Rani's always giving a hit to sometimes Rani can also fail. How did you go through that phase? And I'm asking you simply because so that youngsters who go through these ups and downs learn.
So what really grounded me from day one is when I came into the industry, as I told you, my father was not very keen. He said one thing to me, which I kept in my mind always. Like, you know, how you have certain blueprints that you don't let it like erase from your mind. And my dad said, a very profound thing to me when I was starting off, because I was all of 16, 17 when I started. And he said, never get overexcited with success and never get disillusioned with failure, because these are the two things that are going to be constant with you in this career of yours in films. So I think that kept me going, because if you see success, you will also see failure. Your graph cannot always go like this. There is going to be a phase where you're going to go down, and that's the natural process. You know, no one person can always be on top. You have to see the failure as well. But how you behave when you are successful determines how people treat you when you are down. You know, and that is very important, that when you are successful, you have to make sure that you never treat anybody unfairly, because on your way down you're going to meet the same people. You know, and when you have respect in your failure, that is the true test of a human being or an actor or a person in any business. You know, and that shows who you
Grit
are
and
as a person.
determination.
Yes, absolutely.
But and then you reinvent yourself from this utterly gorgeous love interest of all the successful actors, and doing the bubbly, the dancing, and you know, the singing, the emotional bits, all those. Then you come up with Hichki, and then you come with Mardani. How did you do that?
See, also what I feel,
consciously?
Smita, is like when we are now, right now, we are, as we speak, we are in the time of Durga Puja, 9 days of Navratri, 9 days, all different matas. You know, every day is a new explanation of what mata represents for us as, you know, women. So we women go through phases in our life as well. You know, when we are younger, we have a different kind of mindset and what we are attracted to. Then a phase is when we, you know, when we are somebody's daughter, that's a different phase. Then we come to the student phase of our life, where we are learning. Then we come to a phase where we are the young, like we are exploring things for the first time, you know, that phase. Then we come into a phase where we get married. You know, that's a different phase. Then we have a child. Again, that phase is different. So as women, we also go through different phases in our lives. And like that, I feel that even in my career, I've also gone through those different phases where my attraction towards a particular script or towards a particular subject has been different with the certain ages that I've gone through in my life. And I think that has also reflected in my body of work. You know, so when I do a particular film and there is a particular story that I feel should be told or that people should know, I think that became very strong with me. And with time, I think you are empowered as well as an actor, as who I am, like what I earned in my career, where I was empowered to be able to choose certain scripts or choose certain roles, which I could confidently do. You know, where I said that people will come to see not only me, but also the film that I'm doing, the story that I'm trying to portray or say, you know, or the subject. So I think those are very, very important, you know, because after a certain time, you don't want to just, the audiences have seen most of what you can do. And then you come with certain stories which you feel, yeah, this story is something that we'd like to watch. Like with Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway. It actually made people sit back and realize that, okay, immigrants outside who make their homes outside, it's not a easy life for them. They also go through a lot of struggle, which many people didn't know.
Because you've done the glamorous immigrant one already.
Yes.
You know, wearing a off-shoulder dress and with the vacuum cleaner. I'll never forget that, that shot of
Yes,
yours. Or
yes.
else the cafe,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
in France,
yes.
was it? Where that you built Saif Wali film?
Hum Tum.
Hum Tum.
Yes.
Yeah, in that you're,
Yes.
you know, that really picturesque
Yes,
look
absolutely,
where you are.
absolutely. And then you see the truth.
So you've done that NRI, that pretty NRI, and that successful NRI, wealthy NRI one, and then you've done this. So casting yourself. So what is the creative process in the sense that do you prepare, internalize? Like you said, language you did.
Yes.
You took your mom as an inspiration. You did. What did you do for Hichki? Like, did you practice?
Yes, yes, I had
speaking.
to, because I had to meet a lot of people who had the Tourette's. Because Unfortunately, in my lifetime till then, I had never met a person who had Tourette syndrome. But I had to be educated, and especially Brad, on whom the story actually he's the one who wrote the story, and the film was inspired by his life. So I spoke to him. I kind of interviewed him to kind of understand that what goes on in their head and how does the Tourette happen, like this entire Tourette syndrome. When does it become really heightened, and when is it that they're calmer? So you have to kind of understand to play a particular role. I did the same during Black,
Yeah.
where I had to meet people with the challenges so that I could be one of them.
Yeah.
So I had to know
Was
what is
Black
their.
difficult?
Of course, I had to learn the sign language. I also had to get into their minds, the emotional state. How are they? How do they react? Um, how do they think the world is? As simple as even the color of the sky, blue. We know that it's blue. How do they know what the blue color is? You know, as simple as that. Or even calling for a glass of water. It's so easy for us, but for them, they have to sign that if they want a glass of water. So I think there are a lot of things that have been quite, I would say, career defining moments in my life where, as a person, it helped me be a better human being, or it helped me understand people better, helped me be more grateful for whatever I have. Because, in the everyday life that people live, being grateful has become a rarity, because everybody wants and wants and wants. People are not grateful for what they have. And I think that's something which is utmost important in our lives, to be grateful for whatever we have. Even if we have this much, we should be grateful. If we have so much, we should be grateful. Because we don't know at the other side of the river, another person might have lesser than you at in every form.
So these films must be emotionally disturbing also. How do you get out of it? Like when you
I think for me, I don't need to get out of anything, because Smita, these are all things which help you emotionally to grow as a human being. The emotional education that you get through living life. I think the emotional growth that a person needs to have is also very important in one's life. You don't get in and get out so easily. I think these all help you become the person that you become eventually. And it also helped me, because when I became a mom, all these learnings really helped me, because as a mom, your child is looking at you for everything, because we are the first teachers for them. So it's important that as a mother, you show your child both sides of the coin, not just one.
But you stepped away from a complete career at that time, in the sense that you were really at the height, and you decided that this is the time that you want to be with the baby. So you took lesser assignments, lesser films, and for some time we didn't see you at all. And now
Actually,
after that,
not really, because my Mardani one released in 2014, and I was with Hichki.
2 years, no?
Yeah,
She was,
yeah. Hichki came on to 2018, I believe. Yeah.
So for about 2 or 3 years, let's say, you took a break from. So women have to do this. Women actors have to do this balancing. Men don't get to do that at all, right?
Yes, because they don't have to go through a physical transformation, along with I think our emotional transformation as we become mothers. We also go through a physical transformation, and I'm very happy being a woman. I would not change this for the world, because I think men have really got left out on this beautiful, I would say, amazing thing that we women go through, is giving birth to a child, and that's the closest we come to God, I think, because we are creating a life, and God creates life. And mothers, in those 9 months, they become closest to God, because they are creating life inside of them. And that beautiful thing, men will never understand. And I feel sorry for them.
And also, I think it becomes easier to portray as an actor or as anybody. I mean, for a woman, that entire gamut of emotions, no, for a woman who's gone through that childbirth process,
Yes,
I think
yes, yes.
वो पूरा नवरस हो जाता है उसमें, and it becomes so much more richer.
No, but
Your-
I feel it's like, okay, you know, when they say that God probably entrusted us with having children. Imagine if men had to have children.
Okay.
They would drive people mad. Right now, they have a lot of time in their hand. That's why they're having wars. If they had to have children, maybe there would be no war in the world because they would be busy just preparing for the baby before 10 years before, 10 years after, and
Make
that
a
one.
big deal about it, right?
Yeah,
You talked
absolutely.
about this is the Durga Puja period that we're doing this interview. Your family's Durga Puja is the event in this city for Durga Puja, right? Like everybody comes and it becomes like the paps are there and everybody sees कौन किससे कैसे मिल रहा है क्या पहना हुआ है. It suddenly became a big event, like from a family function.
Yeah, I guess now that's the way things are. Everything is becoming that. And we are going with the flow. You know, as long as people get a
How did
chance
it
to come and
begin?
do darshan. It began.
Who started it?
So if you know S. Mukherjee,
Huh.
so S. Mukherjee's wife started it.
Okay.
So we are in our 79th year.
Wow.
This year is the 79th year.
In Mumbai?
Yes.
Okay.
79th year we are like celebrating this year.
Okay. You never go to Calcutta for Durga Puja? It's
no.
always...
It's always this puja, right from our childhood.
Okay.
So we have memories. Like I have so many memories. Like my father and my mom were very, very involved in this Durga Puja. Getting the Durga Puja together. That time it used to be done in such a smaller scale where the evening entertainment programs used to be us only dancing to Rabindranath's Sangeet. And
You're an Odissi dancer,
yes,
right? Huh.
yes. And our aunts used to only choreograph the dances, and we used to be, all of us cousins used to be dancing. One night used to be some families coming together and doing a stage play. One evening used to be all of us cousins dancing to Rabindranath Sangeet. Then one day there used to be some singers used to just come and sing and go because culturally, evenings are always about cultural programs, and the day is the Devi Puja and the Bhog, and the Bhog is like how we invite people and we kind of serve and we do the Poribesh. Poribeshan is basically serving, and it's a very different feeling because Devi ka puja jab hota hai, the shloks and the mantras are just so powerful. Then we have the Dhunochi Nach, and the Dhak. We every year there's a Dhaki who comes from Cal to play the Dhak in our puja. So yeah, we've kept the tradition going.
You speak Bengali?
Of course.
And your daughter, are you teaching her?
Daughter's little she understands.
Huh.
But of course, in my case, I think my mom only spoke, Bengali with us. Okay. So we had no choice. But Adira is born into a Punjabi Bengali family. So she has to balance both.
Both.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're teaching the language at least a little bit. That's happening. Speaking of your cousins with Kajol, you've acted in films with her. Was there competition ever between the two of you?
I think competition there never is when you are actually like, how to explain to you? When we do films, I think we are competing with ourselves. Because today, if you see a film of mine, you would always compare me to my last film.
Correct.
You will never compare me to a film that somebody else has done. So competition is always with your own craft because you always want to better it. You don't want to ever come to a point where the audience says, yeah, she's not doing a good job today. In the earlier films, she was better. I would die if I would ever have to hear this. So I have to keep bettering my craft. I have to keep reinventing myself with each decade, with each year. I have to know what the audiences want. I want to know what the audiences feel. So that's very important for me. So I'm never competing with somebody else because other actor's journey is very different from mine. The choice of films or the choice of things that another actor does is entirely what that other actor is doing. What I choose to do with my career is completely different. So there's never ever a competition as such amongst actors. This is something that is a very outside view that people feel that, two people are comparing, but
That's
it's,
because kuch kuch hota hai fed that, no?
yeah, but it's but in reality it's never like that. Like
Yeah,
when we do a film also together where there is an ensemble cast, I think the process of filmmaking is such that you're always trying to do the best job in that particular scene, like in every shot also, to be, if I have to micro see it, like, when you're performing a scene and you're doing that one shot, a director has to make sure that everybody is good in that one shot. That everybody has to deliver what they are supposed to deliver in that particular shot. And that becomes a scene. Numerous shots make a scene, and everybody has to deliver their best. No director will want, okay, you do better and you do less. It's never like that. Everybody has to perform to their optimum. So even in an ensemble film, everybody is doing their best. Now when it reaches an audience, then an audience decide, okay, I like this one better, I like this one less, or I like this one more, I like this one less. So the competition is in their heads. But when we do a film, we are doing our best. We are trying to do our best. There is never a feeling that, acha, I want to do better than that. No. We have to, like, if I'm playing a character, Devika has to be Devika in that particular shot. I can't be Rani in that shot. My co-actor has to be my husband who's playing my husband in that. He has to do his optimum as the husband. He can't fail. Because if he fails, my shot fails. That scene fails. And eventually it'll affect the film. So we all have to put in our best.
And you acted in so many of these ensemble films, right?
Yes,
Where there
that is why. Because
multi-
because for me, whether it's an ensemble or it's a film that's only like riding on my shoulders, I'm following the story. I'm following my character. I'm doing the best that I can do for my character.
And in all these films, outfits were so important. There was that period, I think, about 10 to 15 years where everybody was like, in a Manish Malhotra or in a Sabya, and it was like chakmak, and everything was so perfect, from hair to top. Apologies to whoever's managing your team, but it was really like that.
No, but
ऊपर से नीचे तक सब
no,
कुछ
it's
छोड़ा
not
था.
that. I think the
And I
way
think
I
Karan
have
Johar is also like that.
no, I think the way I have, if you see my filmography, I've done a Heyram as well as I've done a Chalte Chalte. I've done a Yuva. I've also done a Black. I've also done Bunty Bubbly. I've also done Kabhi Alvida. And these are all happened like together. So I have always tried. I've done a Satya. I've done a Mujhse Dosti Karoge. So I've never, stopped myself from portraying roles and what the role demanded and what the director demanded out of that character. For me, I have to always make sure that I have to bring important female characters on the forefront, Indian characters, Indian women characters, and what they are doing and speaking to the nation, because our films are viewed around the world. So at one point, people knew about Indian women through the roles that I did.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, Indian women are like this today. Oh, this is what Indian women are wearing. Oh, this is how Indian woman thinks. Oh, this is her growth. Oh, she is like okay with not marrying the person who she slept with. Things are changing in India.
Also
so through my
bubbly,
roles,
like,
coming from small town and, running after her dreams, wanting to achieve her dreams, so there are so
that
many
chota
things.
kurta, and
Yes.
it mattered.
So many things that I've done through my characters spoke so much about the Indian woman, an Indian girl, and I think for me that was most important. The costume was secondary, but the character, what the character spoke, what the character portrayed, what it spoke toward the new India or about new India at that point of time, for me that was important.
While you say that costume was not important, to me...
No, it was not the most important.
Second,
It came second.
secondary.
Yeah.
But for me, all your films, what you wear is also important, because as soon as you wear what you're wearing, somehow that...
Defining.
Yeah, it's very defined. Like what you're talking about Satya, or you would about Bunty Bubbly, that, okay...
Also, for that matter, Chalte Chalte, when I did the coal eyes, like the smoky eyes, that became like a norm. That everybody started doing smoky eyes.
Yeah. And you know that girl from a village
Yes.
is fashion conscious.
Yes.
Is not just wearing lehenga,
Yes,
choli,
yes, yes, yes.
matka on the
Yes,
head,
yes,
pani
yes.
lene ke liye.
Also with No One Killed Jessica, the way Meera Geti was. She was not like how in films they would show a regular journalist wearing a kurta and a jhola and jeans.
Yeah.
I wanted to change that. I wanted to show how well journalists are dressed, female journalists are dressed on television. And I was like, why isn't anybody seeing that?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I portrayed in the film, that she's very unapologetic
Yeah.
about who she is. She smokes. Uh, uh, she can have a one night stand, but yet when it comes to her work, she's there.
Yeah.
You know, she's focused and she's doing, and her personal life has nothing to do with her professional life. You know, so all those things were very important.
Which is like you.
Yes.
Your personal life is your personal and your professional
Yes,
is
absolutely.
and you were
Absolutely.
talking about being married and your husband having certain rules for himself, and somehow those rules also became for you because you understood those
I don't see
rules
them as
are way
rules.
of life.
I think that's way of life, because
Yeah.
rules, I think, suddenly goes into the periphery of somebody is setting the rules and you have to follow.
Okay, that
So,
sounds a little negative.
yeah.
Okay.
No, not negative. I think that's not correct, so to put, because Adi as a person, he's very, I would say, independent, and he has a lot of respect for women, because that's how I think Yash Uncle and Pam Auntie brought him up. Because when you see Yash Uncle's films, there's a lot of importance given to female characters. There was
Yeah.
and Pam Auntie was a very important person in Yash Uncle's life through his professional and his personal. And I think Adi follows that because that's the role models that he saw while growing up, and the importance Yash Uncle gave Pam Auntie in his life. So the way he treats me in his life, there's a lot of respect. And it's not that he tells me that there's a certain thing you should do. It's my choice. You know, in fact, he's the one who tells me, why don't you go out more often? And I'm like, no, I just want to be at home. You know, and the whole encouragement that I got to do Hitchki was through my husband, because he saw me getting into the role of a mother too seriously. You know, and he was like, you know, you are Rani Mukherjee, you are answerable to your fans, you can't be doing this, you need to go back to the arc lights. And that's when I did Hitchki. So, you know, as a husband, I think he was the wind beneath my wings, you know, to be able to tell me that go ahead and live your life. You know, you can't you know, just be at home and just following one role. You know, you have other roles to also do, you know.
Okay.
So I think that is very important, and that is what I try and keep talking in my interviews, that, you know, when husbands are listening or they're seeing this interview, or families are, you know, seeing this interview, they should understand that every woman has the right to choose what she wants to do. If she chooses to be a housewife, great, because being a housewife is not easy.
Yeah.
The amount of work that entails in being a housewife is very difficult, and I know that because I am one myself. Then if she chooses to work being a housewife, I think people in the family should also come together and help. It cannot be just that the woman cooks in the morning, goes to do the work, comes back and again cooks. That's a lot. Taking care of the child also, taking care of the in-laws also, taking care of the home also. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, or you either pay her, you know,
Yeah.
pay her for those activities that she does.
These issues are coming up for conversation because Deepika Padukone had said that I want to work. That's what I believe. I mean, it's all reports. No, she hasn't spoken it, but I believe she said that I will only work X number of hours and X number of days because as a mom now I need that. And there are some who are saying that this is too much of cost because we put up sets and we put up, so it's not working. So can't work with her anymore. Now, these are all reported claims. Nobody knows exactly what went into it. But I'm guessing that when women are laying down these things that I can only work X number of hours, it's a new phenomenon. Pehle, women used to just keep waiting till the big stars, you know, the heroes
Yeah,
like
to
say
just take you
Rajesh
back,
Khanna. Or
take you back to my time when I did Hitchki, because I did Hitchki when Adhira was 14 months old, you know, and I was still breastfeeding her. You know, so I had to pump the milk and go in the morning, and I was shooting in a college in town. So from my house in the suburbs in Juhu to go to that place in traffic takes about 2 hours. So I kind of made it a thing where in the morning I would leave at 6:30 after expressing my milk, and I would shoot. My first shot used to be at 8 in the morning, and I used to wrap up everything by 12:31. And I have to say that my unit and my director, they were so planned that for those 6-7 hours I used to finish my shoot, and before the traffic would start in town, I used to be home by 3 o'clock. And I did my film like that. So these things are up in conversation today because maybe people are discussing it outside, but this has been a norm with um,
With all professions.
with all
I've
professions
done
where
it.
yeah, so I've also done it where I have worked certain hours, and if the producer is okay with it, you go ahead with the film. If the producer is not okay with it, you don't do the film. So it's also a choice. Nobody is forcing anything on anybody.
Are you comfortable working with banners which are not of your husband's?
Of course, I just did Mrs. Chatterjee with MA Films.
So when these offers come, do they feel hesitant that she may not accept it because she
No,
will,
I
she's
think
married?
what is important is that what is the kind of work you are finishing in those 6-7 hours. Like when I go on set and I finish 6-7 hours of work, that is the amount of work that was planned for the day. Sometimes you can work for 18 hours and you might not finish. So it's also the quality of work that you do in those number of hours. And of course, certain films require extra hours of work. But once you are planned, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Are the films better planned today? Better? Do you feel that as
of
compared
course,
to?
I think the directors today are very, very well planned. They know exactly because the cost of films have gone up really high, and it's not easy to make a film today. When somebody makes a film today after the pandemic, it's a thing of celebration. Like I feel very privileged to be on a film set because the fact that a film is being made, it's a very big deal.
Because the costs have gone up. That's
Costs have gone up, and you need that much of recovery for a film to work.
Okay.
So I think today being on a film set is of utmost privilege that you're being able to shoot a film and you're there on set,
But
and you have to make every second count.
Is it because the demands of the actors have become so much in the sense that everybody says that big actors are bringing entourage of 20-25 people with them? Photographers are coming, उनके कोई reel बनाने के लिए कोई और बंदा है, gym वाले अलग हैं. There are so many of these vanity vans.
Maybe
which come.
like you, even I keep hearing about all this because I'm still working like how I was working 20 years back.
Okay.
मेरे साथ वो 2-3 लोग ही होते हैं. तो even I keep hearing about this.
That people actually have a van for just their gym, van for their makeup.
This is what also
van
I've
for
heard.
their cooking.
Even I've heard these things. I've never seen it. Because as you rightly put, I've not worked with the bigger actors. So I wouldn't know.
No, but you've worked with. I'll be honest with you. This is the conversation. Like, does Shah Rukh gel better with Juhi? Does he gel better with Rani? Does he gel better with Kajal? And nobody won that argument because he somehow managed to look so totally in love with all three of you.
Yeah, because Shah Rukh's name is Love. His second name is Love.
It's just you clicked so well with Shah Rukh, and that day watching you sitting with him, it was like such a moment for all of us who have grown up on your films. I mean, for my children, for me, everybody, that was like finally these two are getting their what, and Karan Johar on the
Yes,
same
of course.
thing,
Yeah.
added that extra to it.
I think the winning after 30 years just became even sweeter because we had an entire country, fans rooting for us. And when you have people rooting for you and for your win, that is, I think, I would say the most deserving and the most satisfying feeling. Because when you win an award and people say, oh, she doesn't deserve it, there's no value of that award. But when you win an award and people say that you deserve it and it's well earned, and that's what makes me fulfilled as
deserving. Everybody was like,
fulfilled as
is
an
it
actor.
really that she hasn't won it till now? It's like that. Like say धर्मेंद्र के बारे में भी लोग यही बोलते हैं कि क्या, like how come, or Akshay Kumar, they've been around for so long and they somehow never got the recognition for so many years, whereas some people get all the awards all the time. Like one wonders ki kaise, how these things matter. Do they matter, the awards?
Of
Does it
course,
matter?
everything matters because see, I work for my audience. Like I can't tell you sitting here that I'm working so hard because I want to impress myself. I'm working because I want to impress my audience. Today when I get an award, it makes them so happy. It makes them proud to be my fans. So of course, winning an award makes it special for them.
Okay, you worked with not just big heroes but fabulous directors as well. Who's the director who can get the best out of you? You feel, Panchali?
Of course,
Huh.
of course.
I just guessed.
Sanju is somebody who I greatly admire. I greatly admire his craft. The way he thinks, the way he um, just he has such a trademark as to who he is. Like it's a Bansali trademark. Like his films, you don't need to know or read the name. When Sanjay comes with his visuals, you know that this is a Sanjay Leela Bansali film. And I experienced that when I worked with him. Before I worked with him, I was in awe of his work. When I worked with him, I was in awe of him as a creator, as a person, his thinking, how he thinks, what kind of inspiration he brings in an artist to bring out their best. And I had a wonderful time during Black because we hit it off as friends. There was a lot of comfort that we shared as colleagues, because he has great respect for my craft and vice versa. So there was a mutual respect that we had for each other's craft. He loved me as a human, as a person, because I was always laughing, never took myself too seriously. And I think he loved that about me. And I loved about him that he was also somebody who loved laughing loudly. He also loves his food. And we bonded on those things, on food, on just life, the fact that he's so close to his mum. And he's such a family-oriented person. The same with me. So there were so many things that we hit it off, and we were so honest with each other in the way we spoke with one another. I never hesitated to tell Sanjay what I felt about a particular scene or a particular way we were shooting a scene, or he was very comfortable in chatting with me or discussing with me. And I think that creative, I would say, camaraderie that we had with each other, I think was amazing.
So what do the directors tell you? What is it that they know that ye wala part Rani ka bilkul acha hoga? Is it sadness, happiness?
I think when they see this shot through the camera, is it really hitting them emotionally or no? Because before it reaches the audience, our first audience is the director. He's our first audience for us. If we can move our director, or if our director approves of our shot, we are very relieved. Because as actors, we're like children. When we are giving a shot, as soon as the shot and the director says cut, the first person we look to for approval is, our eyes are searching the director. Is it okay? ठीक हुआ shot, अच्छा था, do you want another one? Can we do another one? And it's our director who tells us, okay, you can do one more, you can do better, or this was great, or we got it. So they are our first audience, They are the ones who we look up as parents. Like children look up to parents for approval. So they are very important. Why do we say they're the captain of the ship? Because not only actors, they are directing the camera department, the DOP, everything. Like they are the ones who are, driving force of the film. They are the ones who are making the film come to life on celluloid. And we as actors are just playing our part to give it the flesh. We are there to give the characters the reality. So from a book, from a script, we just give it a reality, because we are living those characters.
And does it hurt when the director looks not too happy, like, or you feel कि नहीं अब मैं और करूँगी?
करना है, हाँ, वो तो चैलेंज है ना कि डायरेक्टर को खुश करना है,
हाँ.
पहले तो डायरेक्टर को खुश करना है, डायरेक्टर खुश होगा तो ही ऑडियंस खुश होगी.
Is Karan Johar ever nakhush? He looks happy all the time. I can't imagine on the set, like,
No,
is he demanding?
Karan is also very demanding. He knows what he wants. He's also very like he knows what he wants from his actors, and till the time he doesn't get his shot, he will keep on doing.
Like, I mean, how do you tell an Amitabh Bachchan that your shot was not okay, do it again?
Directors know how to say it to the actors, and also actors know in their hearts if they've done the shot 100% or not. And before the director can say, I think the actors are only like one more.
So aren't they in awe of, like, a Bachchan in the set?
Of course they are, but finally when you start shooting, then it's a job. Then it's work.
Okay.
It's like how you might be senior here as a senior journalist, but you are being told that आप अपना पल्लू सीधा करिए, आप ठीक से ऐसे बैठिए,
Yeah.
आप अपना lighting ठीक कीजिए. So then they will start telling you and directing you.
Yeah.
And we also get like directed the same way. कि मार्क इधर है, आप इधर आइए, आपका फोकस इधर होगा. अगर आपका चलने का शॉट है, आप वहाँ तक जाके आप उसको आप क्रॉस नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि फोकस जाएगा. So these all instructions we have to take while we are performing. So it's not easy as if you're sitting on one chair and you're performing. You're walking, you're running, you're doing 100 things. Plus you also have to hit the focus mark at the right time. Plus you also have to make sure that you're not covering the light of the other actor, because the source of light is coming from a certain place.
Listen, you've done it all. When are you directing a film? Look, the way you're talking is seedha, like, what a director does. I'm
No,
sure.
I think all the actors have that experience, people who, are constantly learning. Like I always feel as an actor, how many ever years I'll be in the industry, I will always be a student of cinema. I will always learn with each film, with each director of photography, with each director, with each person I learn, because that is what is my job. When I'm not even on a film set, when I'm on vacation or when I'm traveling, I'm observing people, because sometimes I might see a person and I might say, okay, I want to use this character in my film. I want to use this aspect, this nuance that this person did who I met. I want to use this in my film. Maybe it's a way somebody walks. Maybe it's the way somebody talks. Maybe it's some mannerism that I liked, that I will imbibe in one of my characters. So as an actor, I'm like a sponge. I'm
No,
only
don't
absorbing.
change the topic. When are you directing? सवाल ये था.
आपका मुद्दा ये है.
सवाल ये था. So when are you directing?
I think there'll be a time for everything. I always say in this profession, never say never.
Okay.
आप कभी भी ना नहीं बोल सकते, क्योंकि
But कोई तो story होगी ना which has touched you that कि मैं ये
not
वाला
yet. Okay,
not yet.
हाँ. I think the kind of person I am, I'll know when I'm ready to direct, or I know when that time will come. Right now, I don't think it is.
Women directors.
Right now, I'm very happy being an actor and being directed.
And what is the next project that you're working on? Okay.
My next project is Mardani 3,
of course.
which I'm very excited about, because the audience has showered so much love on Mardani 1 and Mardani 2.
And when I first heard, sorry to interrupt, but when I first heard Mardani, I said, if there's one person who's not Mardani, it's Rani Mukherjee. You're so feminine. I couldn't. I said, ये क्या casting हुई है? But then it worked. It worked.
That is my job as an actor, to convince an audience.
But you're the ultimate, feminine actor, woman actor.
Yeah, but as an actor, I have to also change, I have to be like a chameleon. I have to change with my characters, and that's where my versatility comes. Where I have to work so hard that I have to make people believe that, yes, this is the character. So when you see me in Mardani, you're seeing Shivani Shivaji Roy.
Yeah.
You're not seeing Rani. And for me, that's my biggest victory of sorts. And Mardani for me feels more special is because it also talks of empowerment. It also empowers a lot of girls. Yeah. It talks about the strength of a woman. And those are topics that I am very closely attached to, because as a Bengali girl, as a Bengali mom, I'm fiercely protective about the fact that every woman should be able to stand up for herself. Every woman should be able to be empowered in a way that she spots the Shakti in her, and she believes that she is powerful from within. And if society and if her family has not made her feel like that, she needs to recognize that. And it's better late than never. And for me, Mardani stands for everything that a woman stands for.
So also a message to women that bring out the Shakta spirit in you.
Yes.
That, you know, it's okay to be feminine as well as be an embodiment of Shakti.
Absolutely.
That both are aspects of women.
Yes, and the minute any man sees that Shakti रूपेनु संस्थिता, जब भी वो शक्ति रूप किसी भी औरत का कोई भी मर्द दिखता है ना, वो वहाँ से भागेगा.
Yeah,
वो
true.
बहुत सिंपल है. वो बस वो समझने की बहुत ज़रूरत है. और मेरी ये फिल्मों से, जैसे कि मर्दानी हुई, मिसेस चैटर्जी इन अ वे वाज आल्सो डिपिक्टिंग द सेम स्ट्रेंथ, बट स्ट्रेंथ दैट केम फ्रॉम अ मदर्स लव टू विन हर चिल्ड्रन बैक. एंड शी नेवर bowed down. She fought the authorities. She made sure that her children came back to her. That is also a form of strength. You know, the perseverance, the fighting, that never to fail spirit, that there will be society, there will be people who will try to pull you down. They will try to make you unsuccessful, but you have to persevere and keep going onto the path till you don't succeed. And I think that spirit, nobody should be able to diminish in a woman.
Did anybody
because
try
every
with
woman,
you, Rani?
See, every woman at whatever stage in their life, you know, have faced that. Within the family, outside the family, within society, in their workspace, outside their workspace, anywhere. They have experienced that. And it's very important that they believe that कुछ भी हो जाए, हम किसी को नीचा नहीं दिखाने देंगे. हम करेंगे, हम जाएंगे, हम फाइट करते हुए हम आगे बढ़ेंगे.
There'll be people who try to create, because self-doubt is something that most women have, right?
No, but
After
it's not
certain
even
age.
women. I think men also have self-doubt.
self-doubt.
So self-doubt is a thing that's going to creep in any individual, irrespective of gender. But I'm talking purely about a woman's strength. You know, in situations that men don't face.
Yeah.
You know, and in those times, I think women should recognize who they are and what they stand for.
And also, it's a nice thing that roles are being written for mature women, which didn't happen to the women before your generation. They had to just go away from once they had, you know, got married, had kids. Uske
But
baad wo auntie wala role
I am
only.
born to break myths. I am born to shatter the glass ceiling. I am born to do that. That's what my dad instilled in me. That I have to forge my path and I have to make an example of everything that I do. And I want to inspire young girls. I want to inspire my daughter. I want to inspire girls in India, the young minds, you know, and make them believe that nothing is impossible. अगर आप में शिद्दत है, आप में वो faith है, have the patience and keep working towards it, and it's going to happen.
You're such a strong woman, and looking at you, you're so petite and you're smiling and you look a happy person. But to think that there is such a resilience and strength in you, and such a long career span with such fabulous work that you have done.
And still
It's
more
amazing.
to do.
More to do.
Still more. I have so much more to do. And I want to keep meeting you where you keep telling me that we love this, we love that. And I want to keep increasing. Like I always believe that the quantity of the number of roles doesn't matter for me. It is the quality of the work that I do. And I want with each film that my audiences feel that this one was a good one. And I always want that.
Thank you so much for
Thank
speaking
you.
to us, and we look forward to your future projects.
Thank
All the
you.
best to you, and lots of love for your little one.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and listening to this edition of the NI Podcast with Smita Prakash. Do like or subscribe on whichever channel you have seen this or heard this. Namaste. Jai Hind. Click here to watch the previous episodes.